After being in first grade twice, I still wasn't up to par, and my mother was just like, what is wrong with my kid? Why can't he see? Like, why can't he read? So second grade, when I was diagnosed with dyslexia, and my mother just like, at that time, the education system just they didn't know much about it, right? So they threw me right into special education, where I was, they did the best they could. Like, special education at that time was, they grouped a bunch of kids with all kinds of disabilities together. But I was invited to the Special Olympics every year until I was in 8th grade. I swear to God. I attended because it was like a day off of school, so I would just go. Like, anything to get out of school, I'm in, So I was invited to the Special Olympics every year. And so at that time, there was no education programs that are set aside for dyslexics. Obviously, I had no business, racing physically handicapped kids. I think so many people don't realize. So 1 in 5 people is dyslexic, and only 2% of the population is identified. And so the problem here is awareness. We do eye tests, we do hearing tests. They start checking if you're deaf. They start checking what your vision is. They check for scoliosis. They check for lice. But we don't check for dyslexia. My mother was one that was like, look, you're dyslexic. It's not a problem. You have a really high IQ. It's going to be fine. Your dad's dyslexic. He's a successful guy. Your grandpa was dyslexic. He's a successful guy. So it's going to be fine, and don't worry about it. So I always had this mindset of just really owning the dyslexia. Let's start with the first problem, which is we haven't screened them. Only 2% of the population is identified as dyslexic, and we have 20% out there. I think that's where it's going to start. Identification, owning it, educating them. Those are the big problems.